Hello and welcome back to another game of Dota 2. We are in our second series today, and we are gonna see which one of these two teams will be facing Alliance tomorrow. Because these are the winners bracket finals. It is Empire that was just able to beat Rock's Kiss, and now we're gonna see them up against Na'Vi if they can do the same thing here, if they can keep being on that high, and if they can keep Na'Vi maybe on their low from losing yesterday in the winners bracket finals. Yeah, that was it. Of course, I'm not by myself. I am this time joined by Kanaz. Kanaz, good morning.
Good morning, or afternoon, I guess, evening, early evening for you?
Yeah, early evening. It's about 6:30. So, yeah, I'm have to say, we just saw Empire play, obviously, and they were not the most hot-looking team. They were able to beat Rox, but Rox was even looking worse. It was not necessarily that you think, like, Empire played really well, but it was more that we thought, like, Rox played pretty bad. So, I'm hoping that they can put up a good show here. We know that last Thursday they were able to take a game off of Na'Vi, and then afterwards Na'Vi, of course, came back to 2-1 them in the end. But I'm hoping that they're going to put it all on the table, because they're fighting to double their prize right now. Because the number 3 prize, which is what the loser of this best of 3 is going to get, is $3,000. Well, if you go on to the grand finals, you're at least guaranteed of 6,000, so that's quite a big difference there.
10 seconds.
Yeah, there's a lot of money to be won just in this single match, and of course the opportunity to win more facing off against Alliance. But, I mean, you're right, Team Empire, they look kind of sloppy, and we have Na'Vi that typically are looking a little bit more polished, at least sort of at this tournament.
Yeah.
We'll see how they end up going, if Empire can pull it out, try and take at least a game off of them, maybe even the series, pull out something interesting, but they can't play like they did earlier, is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that is exactly right. It's not going to be enough if they do. I do like their draft, though. I like that they were able to pick up the Abaddon, and it's going to be allowing them to maybe be a lot more aggressive. The Troll Warlord there as well, which is a hero that Na'Vi has really loved over the last couple of days, picking the Lifestealer and the Troll. But they're going to get that denied, as in Na'Vi gets that denied. Empire picks up both Abaddon and Troll, so that's very good. We have got the IO Bet banned out. We still have an OD in the pool, interesting to note. Elder Titan and Naga were the other that were removed from the pool here. And Na'Vi taking their time to think about their next pick.
Yeah, I don't know if probably maybe caught off guard a little bit by Empire snagging the Troll. Maybe that was their go-to plan once again in this game, with the next pick already there. But they do spend a little bit more time. They end up going with Shen, another hero that we've seen Na'Vi run many, many times and had great success with.
Yeah, signature hero of Poppy, of course. As I'm sure he's going to be happy to be able to play that one. We have got a Bounty Hunter ban up against Empire, who perhaps Na'Vi thought were looking to try and continue to fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Empire tries to sneak in a Weaver and just go for the 2-1-2. That's something that Empire has been liking to do here, and
5 seconds.
I have to say I'm a fan of it too. And especially if you're up against a tri-lane of Na'Vi that is basically a semi-tri-lane, because there's a Chen that's hanging around in the jungle, it can definitely be beneficial to run your dual lane there, because it's fairly safe, especially with an Abaddon, of course, there. Just in case Na'Vi does initiate, there's going to be heals and shields and all that jazz. And I'm thinking 2-1-2 for Empire looks good. I mean, not only a Weaver, also Morana Abaddon we've seen before with a dual lane.
Na'Vi's turn.
Yeah, I think Abaddon is pretty common in these 2-1-2 lanes, so it's not a terrible thing to predict that maybe he'll end up being in that role here. They can try and run him in tri-lanes as well. He's just not really as successful. He kind of wants the levels, a little bit more experience hungry than maybe some other supports that would run in a similar position are. But we'll see what they end up doing, what their plan is. It's kind of hard to tell this early on with just a Troll in the Abaddon pick.
Yeah, we did have the previous time that Empire played Abaddon. I believe it was Empire anyway. He completely skipped borrowed time.
Remaining.
It was interesting. They were ahead at that point. It was also up against Na'Vi, actually, so maybe Na'Vi has learned their lesson. Well, time will tell. We've got a Timbersaw ban out for Empire. Strong strength hero that is still strong up against a Troll. Might not be the best matchup, but it's still one that they don't want to be facing there. We've got the Doom banned out by Na'Vi. Not wanting to face that one either. And I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that OD has just been ignored. I'm not sure if we can still expect it, because OD up against Troll is not that ideal for the OD, even though I do think he'll win. But been ignored thus far.
Yeah, the fact that OD is being ignored is kind of surprising, but you're right, it's not a particularly good matchup against Troll. Usually you're picking OD expecting to just completely dominate that middle lane, and Troll, he can at least hold his own, even if he doesn't necessarily win in that lane, and that's not necessarily what you want to go for when you're picking up a hero like OD. They could still go for that route very easily at this point, but I feel like they might, a lot of times they want to give Deniel someone a little more game impacty as well.
Yeah, I agree. We do have Empire banning out the Darkseer. Also interesting is that I find that there is very little supports removed from the pool. Both teams still need a support, or are expected to still have a support, unless the Empire wants to throw something in the jungle. By the way, there's still a tree in the pool if Empire wants to go for that. No, they pick up the Crystal Main, and
Turn to pick.
you know, both still needed a support with the disable as well, and Crystal Main of course offers that, but I'm quite surprised that neither of the teams really tried to ban any of those out, like Rubik or Nyx Assassin or anything like that, or, well, Rubik in the case of Na'Vi I guess is going to be the best bet, as Poppy will play the Chen and then Kuroki will still have one hero to be playing. But, yeah, untouched. And I think they're going to be fairly happy with that Crystal Maiden, a very good support, very
10 seconds.
early game aggressive support if they want to try to go that route. I mean, aggressive trialing for Empire, definitely a possibility.
Yeah, they can run these two supports in an aggressive tri-lane if they really want to. Abaddon is not really a slouch in those aggressive tri-lanes either. Just being able to, if you get a hero that can really dive very effectively and kind of run in, usually some sort of melee carry maybe, just shield on him, run in, deal quite a bit of damage. Crystal Main has the good slow, the immobilize. They can try and chase people down and even tower dive early with the shield. I don't know if that's the route they're going to want to go, though. They're up against Chen, so they know that he'll be in the jungle, and they're going to be against that kind of 2.5 lane coming out from Na'Vi at this point.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't know.
Well, they took a long time to think about that Rubik, which we already predicted earlier on, so quite surprising at least that Na'Vi took so long of their time to decide that they were indeed going to pick up that Rubik first. Perhaps, of course, debating if they should pick up something else first. As Empire secures themselves Mag's Nature's Prophet, so I think that's going to be just a solo lane, at least trial lane with a solo lane. If it's going to be aggressive trial lane, still a possibility, but we'll see. Na'Vi, I'm expecting them to still go for something like a Puck or a Queen of Pain, or at least something that Lifestealer can invest into, so that they can jump around the map and get themselves some gank kills going.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they don't really have anything that's very good with comboing with this Lifestealer at the moment. They do go with the OD, though, so it looks like they noticed what you said, that he's just sitting around that pool and they can pick him up. We'll see how it ends up working out for them, because it does look like we're going to see Troll against OD in that mid lane at the moment.
Yeah, just a hero for Funnick needed still. There's still a lot of offlaners in the pool, though, even though there are a couple, of course, have been removed. But for example, Clockwork works well as a good offlaner, and you can infest a Lifestealer and then hook in and then just get yourself an initiation going. So I wouldn't be surprised if Na'Vi tried to go for that, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Empire trying to ban that out, considering they are already sorted on their offlaner, and they know that Na'Vi still needs an offlaner to succeed in this draft. And yeah, there we have it. I guess it was too obvious.
Na'Vi's turn to bat.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward thing at this point. He has the good initiation, and he fits the role that they need for their lanes. So just going to end up taking him out. We'll see what Na'Vi have up their sleeve. It feels like they probably have to have something that's going to go with Lifestealer. But what that exactly could be, it could be anything at this point. We've seen them run all sorts of heroes for Funnick in the off lane that we don't really see other teams do.
Yeah, and I guess in a way it's also possible to still have the OD on the safe lane, have an aggressive trial lane, and still pick up a Queen of Pain or a Puck or something. It's not ideal, because I don't really like aggressive trialing Chen, but it could work out. And Empire, they go for a Viper to run up against that OD. Of course, Razor was the one that got banned out. We still also had the option of a lone Druid there, in case you want to run that up against the OD, but the Viper is the one that's going to be. So one of the heroes that you would mention as counters to OD, not really that much of a surprise here. Interesting though, they kind of, across all, I mean, only real Crystal Maiden has a disable, so that might be causing some issues, because Crystal Maiden will go down real fast if OD just is able to get some hits up on him. Windrunner is the one that Na'Vi in the end goes for, by the way, and they have got plenty of disable with the Shackle now also, as well as the Telekinesis. And the Astral Imprisonment, of course.
Yeah, Windrunner, I think is a pretty standard pick for Navi at this point. They didn't have a ton of disables before, but having the Shackle Shot does provide them with at least a little bit more. And you're right about Crystal Maiden. You were mentioning how squishy and fragile she is. That's really the one downside to picking that hero is if she kind of gets focused at all, she's going to go down very, very quickly. So she'll have to be careful with some of these high damage heroes like OD, like Lifestealer, as the game goes on.
Yeah, Lifestealer too, indeed. Ooh. So let's see who is playing what. We've got, of course, Empire on the dire side for this game. We've got Always Wanna Fly playing Crystal Maiden. Scandal will take on the Viper. Mag playing the Nature's Prophet. Everybody rotating bottom lane, by the way, looking for maybe some action. Vanscore playing the Abaddon. And we have, last but not least, Silent on the Troll Warlord as the carry Troll.
Yeah, and for Navi on the Raid, so we're going to have Puppy playing his signature Chen Funnick on the Windrunner, Kuroki on the Rubik, Dendi on the OD, looks like he'll be hitting mid, and finally Havost, who's going to be playing Lifestealer as the carry down in that safe lane. And he spotted out the entire Empire team and is now on the retreat path.
Yep. Realized the people were there and just started running. Got one hit from the Nature's Prophet, but he was fast enough to keep himself away. Of course, Nature's Prophet is slower base movement speed than the Lifestealer. So that all worked out for the best for Navi. We are gonna see everybody rotate into their lanes. We do have Empire also blocking some camps there, at least one camp with the sentry ward, so that's really nice for them. But yeah, I don't think that we're gonna have too much surprises. Perhaps Empire is still gonna run an aggressive tri lane. There's definitely the potential of putting Mag on that safe lane, and then Scandal just made an aggressive tri lane with the Abaddon and the Troll. But I think that if they would do that, there is so much pressure on that aggressive tri lane that if they would lose that aggressive tri lane, they would lose the entire game, perhaps.
I think that's pretty much a common issue with running these aggressive tri lanes that maybe aren't obviously stronger. If you go down there and you lose the lane hard enough, or even sometimes just go even, it puts you so far behind in the game that it's hard to come back. And their other lanes in this scenario aren't that powerful. Nature's Prophet can have a fine time up in the top lane. He'll be able to actually stay in the lane if he's just up against Windrunner, but he's not going to really have that carry potential that they need. And Viper, even though he might come out ahead in the OD matchup, unless he gets a lot of farm, which you still probably won't end up with, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So if they do drop that, go aggressive tri lane, lose it hard, you're right, it might be difficult for them to win it all.
Yeah, they are going to try and do that though. Mag is already rotating towards the top lane. It does mean that should this tri lane not be as successful as it should be, I think they would already be successful if they just make sure that Havost doesn't get anything off the lane. Don't necessarily need to take kills, but they can't allow that Lifestealer to get free farm. I think that Scandal is going to have to play a big role here. If he is not successful, like he is their mid-game hero, the one to buy time for the Troll and the Nature's Prophet as well to get themselves up to speed. And so a lot of pressure is on him as well, and he's having a tough lane. Even though Viper is considered a common counter towards the OD, it's still a strong laner. OD, that is, still a very strong laner. We already see both of these exchanging some blows. As for now, for Scandal, that's going to be easier, but the longer this game goes on, the easier it's going to be for Dendi, because the more intellect he'll steal, and the more harassment he can throw back on Scandal.
Yeah, the levels on Viper are also very powerful, though. Both Nether Toxin and Poison Attack get a lot stronger at levels, especially when he gets the third point in Poison Attack and it has no cooldown. This harass that can come out on Dendi is going to be pretty brutal at that point. We can already see him kind of withering away down that bottom lane, or in that middle lane, just from that damage from the Poison Attack. So it's going to be kind of difficult. I don't know that it's necessarily going to go his way just as he gains levels.
And talking about harassment, we already saw Funnick taking quite a bit of harassment here, and he's already went through one full stack of tangos. He was sitting on 2 stacks of tangos and 2 salves up against Mag here because of the tree and harassment coming out, and so far Mag's been doing a decent job. He's 8 for 2 for now. Funnick though not really shut down all too much. He's still able to get the experience, but he only has got 4 last hits, 5 now, but be interesting to see what he can achieve here in the later game, as we have got a Vost chasing down Silent, silencing quite a bit of damage here. Can't really afford to dive when Abaddon isn't close enough to land the shield, and Abaddon indeed very far away in this one. Whoa, do we have a first blood here? Scandal might be in some trouble. In comes the Centaur, look for a stun, and that should be... Hello, stun. No stun needed. Just a couple of hits. Boom. Come on. You can do it. Chen gets it.
Puppy. Yeah, so Puppy waited to effectively last hit this, but they make sure they get the kill that way. And yeah, first blood going the way of the middle lane, even if it is on the Chen, is pretty good. Slowing Viper down, getting him out of the lane at least for about 10 seconds or so. And Dendy gets a couple last hits for free. Things could definitely be going worse for Na'Vi. The bigger problem is that Havost is really effectively getting shut down in this bottom lane. But Na'Vi have kind of just like accepted that fact. Kuroki is just now making his way down there on the Rubik. We'll see if he's able to do anything or if he's just going to try and pull more.
Yeah, we do have the Rage as an escape mechanism for Vos. It's allowing him to get away from these engagements, but I mean, as said earlier, if they are at least able to shut him down and not lose the other two lanes too bad, of course, that's mandatory, that's a given. Then I think Empire is going to be in an okay situation, but talking about not losing the lanes all too much, with already giving the first blood in the mid lane, it's still the case that Scandal is indeed the only one that's really a mid-game hero. The rest is all starting to come online later. There's supposed to be BKB and the Helm of the Dominator or something like that up on silent before he can get big. Hand of Midas and then maybe a Shadow Blade or Scythe of Ice up on Mag is needed for him before he can get big. And there's only Scandal, and he is only 4 for 3. He's only got 4 last hits at the moment, and that's absolutely nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble actually getting these last hits. I'm not sure that I love his skill build. He got the point in Corrosive Skin's very powerful ability, but now he's kind of slacking on Nether Toxin, and that makes it a lot harder for him the last hit, which is pretty important here in this lane, and now he's in trouble again.
Yeah, in comes Puppy. Has got himself an Ursa, but always when a fly comes in, he will be able to force Na'Vi back. Doesn't get anything out of it though. Didn't even have mana for Frostbite anyway, but does save Scandal because the TP on itself forced people back at the same time. Silent might be in some trouble. No, just lands Whirling Axis and he gets himself out afterwards. Because of course, knowing that Crystal Main was no longer bottom was a signal for Na'Vi to initiate on the bottom lane, but couldn't get a kill in the end.
Yeah, and that forced Crystal Main to start running back towards the bottom lane immediately, and they tried to reinitiate on Scandal in the mid lane. Now Viper is forced all the way back to Fountain, giving more time for Dendy to just continue building up advantage in this middle lane. This is something that Na'Vi do really well, especially with Puppy on the Chen. He harasses this middle lane opponent for Dendy so very well, and it usually will build Dendy a pretty substantial advantage, as we can see in this game. And they're coming up pretty far ahead in the middle lane. They're slightly ahead up in the top lane with Funnick outlast hitting Mag up there. And while they're giving away kind of a Vos farm, with these two heroes sort of getting an advantage early, they can move around and start putting pressure on that bottom lane pretty quickly.
Yeah, and one thing that's... I mean, you might be able to shut down your opponent here on the aggressive tri lane, which is great. But one thing that will be the case for Empire is that they are not getting kills. And even though I said that's not that big of an issue, but, I mean, they are not getting levels either. That is a big issue, because when Na'Vi is ready, when they feel like, you know what, now it is time to help bottom lane, now it's time to rotate our Windrunner or something like that, or our OD, to try and help bottom lane, well, that is when things start getting hairy for Empire, because if they don't have the levels, they can't defend themselves long enough for them to be either able to run or to fight back. Especially not if OD has a mechanism very early on, actually.
And a lot of these heroes aren't particularly good at running away. Crystal Maiden obviously comes to mind. Vanscore on the Abaddon is also not going to be particularly great at running away early on. He has a couple points at shield, but the shield isn't going to last that long, and it has a longer cooldown until you max it out. So he's not going to be able to just keep throwing that out. Now, Crystal Maiden's going to find double damager in the bottom lane. Let's see if she takes it. Took the haste rune.
Yeah.
Yep.
The fastest and the strongest indeed. In the meantime, Smoke Gang comes out on top. They want to go for Mac. Shackle hits. Easy pickings, and that's Funnick with his first kill of the game, who now has phase boots. We do have a rotation from Abaddon, but I'm not sure why that happened. He's not able to do anything here on this top lane, and I even think it might be too scary for him to get an experience range, but maybe he'll sack and pull some. Who knows? Yeah,
it looks like he's probably just going to Bronco pull, because there's no one in here in the lane. They can just pull it. It doesn't really matter what happens. But yeah, it's not particularly good there. Vanscore, I think he was hoping he would make it in time to maybe throw off a shield and heal, and that's just enough to save Mag, but it's not going to work. And now that we see the gank train moving towards that middle lane, Scandal needs to be somewhat cautious. He's keeping his pretty aggressive posture, but Kuroki and Puppey are standing right behind him.
Dire's top tower
Yeah,
is
Scandal
under
only
attack.
sitting at level 5. There's a 2-level difference, 1.5. No, 2 full levels difference between Denny and Scandal. And I think it is nighttime, so I'm not sure if Scandal actually saw them. Wouldn't be surprised to see if they try to wrap around. I mean, they have also got themselves a Vost here, so this is just Na'Vi saying, you know what? We want to go aggressive right now. No more waiting. And they can just try to go for Scandal. Perhaps so, perhaps to see a different target. Mag. It's rotated into the jungle, never mind. Courier. Might be some trouble. No, Scandal is the target. Scandal is the bait and the kill. In comes Silent. Astral Imprisonment already there. Nice Nova. Frostbite. Down goes Kuro. That's at least 1 kill Empire gets in return for this. As Vanskor tries to go for Havost here, who's running himself out with the rage. Should be able to keep running. Nature's Prophet actually TPing up to the high ground. Can he get us proud of? Nope. Astral Imprisonment once again. And that's gonna be Empire only getting 1 kill on a support for losing their solo mid Viper.
Yeah, it's still a good trade for Na'Vi, and it forced out a ton of TPs, whereas Na'Vi just walked there, so the Empire spent a lot of gold on that counter gank just to get a support Rubik out of it as well. So it's definitely good for Na'Vi, and I think they're in a position where they're comfortable just trading kills anyways. They do have that early advantage, and their heroes kind of are just a bit stronger in this mid-game phase, as you mentioned. Like Troll, Nature's Prophet, they really want a lot of time before they're going to come online and be very, very big factors in this game. And it sort of leaves all the pressure on Scandal. And he's having a terrible game this far.
Yeah, that's to say the least. Now, we know Viper is a hero that kind of needs to have a strong early game, because he's not a hero that is easy to fight from behind with. If he does that, then he normally falls into a bit more of an aura support kind of Viper without that much carry potential, even though, of course, later on in the game, if he actually is fully slotted, then he is back in action. But fighting from behind for Viper, not ideal. So we see Empire grouping up because they know something needs to change, something needs to happen. Always want to fly, finding himself a couple of neutrals. Doesn't, or is not successful to stop the pool completely from happening, unfortunately for him. Maybe they can get something going here though, because Puppey and Kuro are sitting around, and I'm not sure if they are aware that, well, now they are for sure, never mind that. People just coming in. Nature's Prophet coming in bottom lane as well. Looks like Empire wants to at least try to take a tower.
Yeah, so they're going to keep putting this pressure on, at least try and keep Na'Vi back long enough for the creeps and Nature's Prophet to hit this tower, and they'll be able to take it down. Nature's Prophet gets the last hit, so some additional gold going his way, but he's still not looking particularly strong. He hasn't gone for a Midas yet. I don't know if that's going to be his build, and now we're going to see a fight.
Yeah, still the slow, of course, and the net is right there. Havost taking a lot of damage there. Nice telekinesis though, making sure that those axes did not hit Havost. That's actually a lifesaver right there. Silent. Not able to get a kill. First Viper strike used. Yay, Viper's level 6. Of course, this is a fairly short cooldown, so it's not that big of an issue as... oh, he's just eating himself up to life. Never mind.
Yeah.
Was wondering.
One of the big things about Viper being level 6 and having his ult is that he doesn't have any other spells. And there's a Rubik on the other side. So anytime Kuroki wants to steal Viper Strike, he can as soon as he hits level 6. It's kind of one of the really big downsides that made it somewhat surprising to me to see that Viper. But we'll see what happens with that if Viper Strike ends up biting them quite a bit. Silent looks like he's probably dead here. Maybe not.
He
Shield
gets a
saving him
shield.
for a moment.
Puppey not chasing that down anymore. Nice shield. He was a bit greedy though. He tried to go for Phonic, couldn't get the kill in the end. So, bit of wasted engagement there. Bit of wasted time on both sides. But at this point, favors Empire slightly, considering they are behind and fighting from behind. You just want more time to play your own game, to get your game together, get your stuff together. We do, however, have Dendy with the mechanism. And once we have some more items and levels up, I mean, I'm expecting a nice 10 on this Eclipse. Actually, one more hit should be enough. No, he doesn't get in range. And he actually does not have the Arcane Orb. One Arcane Orb, I think, would have done it, but doesn't get it. So, a mechanism is there. Which other items are we waiting for Na'Vi before they actually start 5-manning this? Because I think they can, with that mech, perhaps when he has, when Lifestealer has an armlet ready. When Rubik has his level 6, obviously, which he now actually does, and... well, other than that, what other items are we waiting for Na'Vi?
Yeah, I think the armlet on Havos is the biggest deal. He's able to get some time in this bottom lane now because Empire's been sort of distracted from it, and he's starting to get quite a bit of farm. Actually, he just went Midas, so he's going to play the catch-up Midas, and that's going to be timing for Prophet as well.
Top lane, Funnick might be getting almost one to fly still. He will go down for it though, but he does not get a Crystal Maiden in return for dying. Knew he wasn't gonna die. Just tried to do as much as possible before dying. Viper Strike successful. Mission accomplished. Now 3-2 on the kill score. But at the same time, I mean, they used 4 heroes to take down an off-lane Windrunner, and the rest of Na'Vi is just happily farming away everywhere on the map. Havos now with the Hand of Midas, which is a typical item for him lately, as he's been building that quite a lot, but I don't think it's really necessary this game, because he was doing so well without it already, and I don't know, I feel low. They just feel like they're in no rush. I guess I would agree. Silent with the haste rune. Astral, Kuro could come in with the telekinesis. Doesn't get it. Never mind. Does get it. Shackle does latch as well. Silent in some trouble and will now no longer have a haste rune. He does have the shield, however. Might be enough. Is able to get himself away. Dendy going for Vanscore. There goes your borrow time. Scandal's going to be the one that he asked for imprisonment. And he will get Shackle together with Vanscore. Nice Shackle coming off from Funnick. And the rest just trying to run themselves out of this. But Silent, is he actually fast enough? Use your face. Run. Yeah, he's fast enough. He can get himself away. Ooh, Funnick tried to hackle shot that one. Didn't work out.
Yeah, that was a pretty aggressive shackle shot. Not gonna work. But he is gonna get caught by Astral Imprisonment. I don't think they can go for this. Croaky's gonna try. No, they're gonna back off. TP forces out 2 TPs though, so that's another 270 gold that Empire just kind of throwing at it. And these supports, they've had to TP back and forth across the map pretty much the entire game. We can see that in Square's items. All he has is brown boots in 1 branch, and it's 15 minutes in. He's not having a lot of success.
Nope, it's a sad game for the supports of Empire overall. They did take down 2 towers though, so you'd expect them to have more gold, but it's just not the case. Only 1 tower down on the side of Empire themselves, but it is, you do feel it is Na'Vi that is deciding when, where, what, and how, and they are ahead in gold, even ever so slightly. Experience graph shows it a lot more clear though how this game feels. Favor of Na'Vi, 7,500 experience as Empire look to go for Denny, slowing him down already. Can they slow him down again? Yes, they can! That's gonna be Nova. Astral Imprisonment comes out, and he'll get sent back home by Puppy.
Yep, and the supports are just going to be able to walk away at this point. And yeah, that's going to be a failed gank there. They had all 5 heroes from Empire for that top lane. Havost has been in this bottom lane for like 4 minutes now, completely uncontested. He farmed up a complete Midas, finished his phase boots. Now he's going to definitely be going for that armlet, I think. And he's even putting pressure on a tower at this point while a tower goes down the mid lane. It's looking like Empire, they're feeling the pressure, they're feeling like they're behind, and they're not really responding to it particularly well at this point.
Yeah, this is just Na'Vi in their comfort zone, and it shows. I mean, a Host free farming, that's one hero, or one player rather, that you do not want to have free farming. And what can they do to kill him off right now? It's only the Viper that would have some kind of chance, as yeah, the rest of Na'Vi actually comes in at the first sign of danger for Havos. But it's only Viper that can really help kill off Havos, and he doesn't have anything just yet. He goes for his treads now, but even Crystal Maiden finishes her treads before Scandal does. I mean, that says something. But look at the difference in net worth between the Crystal Maiden and the the Viper.
It's pretty depressing for Scandal. This game only a 500 gold advantage over that Crystal Maiden on his own team. It's not good. It's definitely not good. And I think Na'Vi weren't really going down there to protect their votes so much to take this tower. It's the last tower, tier 1 tower remaining on the map. So they just kind of rotated down there and take the tower. They might continue trying to force it in this tier 2. They know they have an advantage. They have everyone here except Havos, and I think they want to keep trying to force fights where they don't really lose too much, and Havos is just farming away somewhere else on the map.
Yeah. Sadly for Kuro, his last stolen spell just wore off. It was the shield from the Batten. Pretty good spell to steal. If you want to, especially if you want to try to be as aggressive as they are right now, the steal or the shield or the heal would be both good. Shackle does not latch, then he's still getting slowed down. Empire actually looking to fight, already in Viper Strike up on Dendy, but he's able to mech and force staff himself into safety. Power Shot will miss. In comes the rolling axes, and of course a Viper Strike from Kuro. Silent in a lot of trouble here, but not as much as Puppy is in. He goes down first, but Scandal going down for it as well. Freezing Field of CM. Astral Imprisonment will cancel that one out. It's a 1-for-1 exchange thus far, with the Freezing Field actually being stolen by Kuro, and down goes the Crystal Maiden, down goes Nature's Prophet, and Silent looking to join them in the grave. The shields have worn off, and that's going to be a double kill for Dendia, looking for a team wipe, looking for the Abaddon, who no longer has his burrow time. One more hit away from dying. Double kill for Funnick as well. Buyback from Silent. I'm expecting him to not be able to do anything anymore with that. He did TP back towards the tower, but everybody's already backed off. I guess they defended their tower, but it cost them 2 buybacks and a team wipe. And all the knows to Chen.
Yeah, they lost their team. They had 2 buybacks. Havost wasn't there. They went for that with the no Havost fight. He's having fun. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's just having fun creeps, whatever. In the meantime, his team is winning, and now, oh no, Mag.
Oh, the Centaur actually helps him out! That's impressive. Infest will do the last bit of damage. In comes the Vibe Strike of Havost. The one thing that you can do, TP out under the nose of your enemies, no frostbite, no nothing. That is just, you can feel the frustration, right? You're Mag, you just died, you want to just get your farm together, you want to get your Shadow Blade, you teleport in right where Havost is farming.
That was the most unfortunate series of events for Mag. He dies, he teleports there as he comes up. Trying to just farm. Surprise, there's a zombie in your woods.
Yeah, Kuro
Just kill.
tried to put Silence up the high ground. Kuro in some trouble there. But he gets help. In comes Havost with the frostbite stolen and put up on Silence. Silence gets a shield. Might be enough. Never mind. Kuro still goes down by the shield popping on Silent though. So that's at least something. But it's still a good trade for Na'Vi as they look to take down Scandal as well. Chen still gets picked up by the Nature's Prophet. But if they get Scandal, that would be worth it. Havost still chasing. He's gonna get some help. Ooh, close to hitting. Shield is there again, but shield will be popped up. That's an S from Imprisonment to kill him off. That's gonna be worthy for it. I mean, the 2 core heroes of Empire picked off for the 2 supports of Na'Vi. That's a trade you'll take anytime.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good trade for Na'Vi once again. It sucks kind of for the supports on the side of Na'Vi, but Empire, oh, okay.
Yep, he had a
that Blink Dagger already working wonders for Funny.
Blink into the shackle, really no escape, and at this point, we're reaching the 10k mark for the gold advantage for Na'Vi. 13k experience. There is very little Empire can do right now, because what would you do? Like, what's your plan? What's Empire's plan? How are they gonna make this into a comeback?
I think one of the biggest problems for them is they don't have a lot of burst damage at all, and they really need it because OD has to go down in these fights quickly. And they don't have a way to... Their heroes are going to be able to just kind of burn him at the beginning of a fight. I don't know if their lineup is able to really come back from this point. They can still win a team fight if things go really wrong for Na'Vi. Maybe they use their spells a little bit inefficiently, but...
Well,
yeah.
Silent just got blown up completely by that Silence Eclipse. Denny is taking a lot of damage though. Astral Prism just in time. He'll still end up going down. Always when his fly will be continue to channel his freezing field. There we go. That's a kill. Nice shackle to try and help out though, but Funnick not in time to save his teammate. Now will try to windrun himself away and is successful in that. So at least Empire gets a kill. But at this point, I mean, look at this. You see in the minimap that there's actually 4 heroes here by Mag of Empire and 3 heroes of Na'Vi go in because they know that they are so far ahead that they can actually do that. The rest of Empire is forced away. Scandal now open wounds. Havost raging, looking for the pickoff. It is a kill for Poppy though, unfortunately for him, and that is gonna be another fight won by Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's just Na'Vi winning fights. I'm kind of surprised they went full back on with leaving Dendy up there to die in that last kind of engagement. Maybe they were just kind of messing around, because I feel like they probably could have tried to force that fight. Maybe they didn't want to be under the tower, want to get a couple kills before they go for it, but they do get the couple kills. They take down that tier 2 in the mid lane, and they're still looking way ahead at this point.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are. I mean, even with Dendy dying, which by the way was his first death this game, he is still sitting on second highest of the net worth, and he is still very far away from the Nature's Prophet in terms of net worth. As Nature's Prophet does get himself a kill together with Silent. We have got Always Wanna Fly picking up a Crystal Maiden in the meantime in the mid lane. I mean, they're exchanging some kills, and that's good for Empire. Actually, better for Empire than it is for Na'Vi at the moment, because losing their Chen, not something that they wanna be doing. But a Crystal Maiden for Chen is good exchange for Empire. They should be really happy with that. They have to try and hold on, find these pickups so that Na'Vi can't make their move to push onwards.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, certainly they could try and go. I don't know. It's these good trades at this point aren't really getting them ahead. They're just kind of keeping them in it, and they're pretty far behind. They need to like take a big team fight. I think it's gonna probably take a big ultimate from Crystal Maiden to really turn that team fight. Just get a lot of lucky hits from that freezing field.
Funnick playing with Silent at the moment, looking for a good position for a Shackle, doesn't find it, and now he has to run. He can't force staff though, he is going to be just fine, as Nature's Prophet not as fine because he gets picked up. Kuroki able to get in there. He actually has got himself a shield again, as a stolen level 4 shield. That's a really neat spell to have. Especially since there's not that much disable up on Empire. One Frostbite is just neglected by that shield, as always want to fly. There's not going to be Frostbite at all. Scandal already picked up as well. Now Vanscore, is he going to be next, or are they just going to go for the towers? But by the way, they can't even go for the tower because they're still a tier 2 standing. They dived into Empire's base. Well, they can't even do something with it. I mean, look at Dindy. He's just walking around like he owns the place. Nice Shackle coming off from Funnick. Down goes Scandal. Again, he just bought back. And down goes Vanscore this time as well. That's gonna be dominating people. This is Na'Vi dominating, as their courier will find death because it flew in range of tier 4 towers. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, I didn't even notice what it was trying to deliver. Doesn't look like it was anything. So yeah, they're gonna dive tier 4 towers, get a bunch of kills. Empire aren't calling this yet, but at this point it's kind of becoming apparent that Na'Vi have this one wrapped up. Funnick just blinked. Was he just blinked next to himself? I don't know what happened there.
He blinked right, like, yeah, just 2 inches or so.
It's weird.
Yeah, a bit of a victory blink perhaps. Na'Vi, it looks like they're not planning on backing out from this base. They want to go for Silent here. He's taking a lot of orb damage. Dendy, of course, he's just been able to do whatever he wants to because there are no BKBs up on Empire. There's just no sign of them, and that is the item that you need to counter an OD, and they just don't have it. Shadowblade's there, the Infested Lifestealer for a staff forward, going for Silent. Nice Shackle! In comes a Freezing Field though, but the Astron Prison will cancel that one out. They go for Vanscore, and of course Kuro stealing Freezing Field. Crystal Maiden takes a bit of harassment from that one, but well, we'll get picked up. This is about done. This is just about done. If people weren't convinced yet, there we go. That's utter domination.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly close game for Empire. It just kind of felt like they started falling behind and they didn't react well to it. They tried to move around the map, they tried to get those kills. That way, all they ever did was kind of end up trading, and while they were doing that, it left room for other players on Na'Vi to farm, whether it was a host or Dendy, just kind of doing whatever they wanted in lane while they moved around 4 or 5 heroes on the map. And that's a good way to fall behind.
Yeah, we are gonna see another game though, seeing if Empire can find their footing, because it just looked like they couldn't get into the flow. They would play too much reactive Dota and didn't get to play their own game, and well, they kind of need to be able to play their own game if they want to have a chance in winning this. Obviously, that's what they want to do because they want to make it to the grand finals, which is why they're here. So stick with us. We'll be right back with game 2 between Empire and Na'Vi to see who will be taking on Fnatic or not Fnatic. What am I saying? Alliance tomorrow. But yeah, let's jump us out of this game into the next. We'll be right back.